What is going on, everybody? You already know it is Thursday night. It is 6 p.m. It's the NFL Weekly Talk. My name is Paul Spencer, and I'm always with that man right there, the man himself, Dan Connor. Dan, how we feeling tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. What's going on, everybody?
Hey.
Time to talk some NFL football. Got a division to talk about. One week closer to the draft.
Yeah.
So it's exciting time.
It definitely is, Dan. I mean, we've worked our way all the way through the NFL here. We got two divisions left. Both teams are Super Bowl, worthy. Both of them were there. We're going AFC West this week, Dan. First, Dan, I mean, the AFC West, I mean, they've been like a two-team race, really a one-team race, really. Kansas City Chiefs. But, Dan, this year, I tell you what, the Chargers and the Broncos, with Bo Nix at quarterback for the Broncos, and the Chargers with Harbaugh, Dan, they kind of like really surprised me this year. They really did.
Yeah, they both had a real good defense.
They did,
The Chargers and the Broncos had two of the better defenses in all the NFL last year.
Exactly.
And they also got good play from the rookie Bo Nix, which you did not expect.
Yeah.
And I thought with good coaching, the Chargers would be good, but they were a good team last year. Their defense was top notch, and it became like a run oriented, defensive type football team. And the Broncos,
Great.
Did well. The Raiders had a real bad season. The Chiefs had a great season again. The Chiefs. They came a little short, but they still had a great season. They'll be in a contender again next year, and the front runner for the division also, I would say. But division was one of the best in the NFL last year. It was really exciting to watch. A lot of the three of the teams.
Yeah, exactly. Three of the teams. Yeah, three of the teams were entertaining this year, to say the least. But yeah, before we get into the teams, from bottom to the top here, who really surprised you the most out of this division? The Chiefs, we know what they are, Dan. Denver with Sean Payton really in his second year with Russell Wilson gone.
To be honest, the Broncos probably surprised me the most.
Me too.
I thought the Chargers would be good. I think their defense would be as good as it was.
Agreed.
I think I'd say the Broncos probably, because you didn't know what you were going to get with Bo Nix. You knew with some stable quarterback play, they'd get some wins, but their defense is also really good.
Agreed.
So I would say definitely the Broncos. The Raiders, I think it's what we expected. I expected them to struggle. I didn't expect them to be very good. And they were not.
So. Well, speaking of being not that good, let's just jump right into them, Dan. Let's talk about those Las Vegas Raiders. I know Ken Fry's not happy. You can check him out tomorrow with the Silver and Black Raiders Nation. Not a lot to say about them except disappointing. What do we do? Is it a rebuild? How do we blow this up? What the hell do we do?
It's a rebuild.
It definitely is. I mean,
first left, it was a rebuild pretty much. I mean, can you even say they weren't rebuilding even when they had Carr?
That's true, Dan. I mean, you go back years. Yeah, you go back years, and you really think, did they have the pieces? I mean, going down to even their head coach.
The last piece.
Exactly.
They needed other pieces that they never
Yeah.
really got after after the fact, a couple years later.
Well, let's talk about the last year, Dan. My God, 4-13, Dan. And you in the backstage, we were talking. I didn't think it was this bad, Dan. What was that losing streak again? I got to hear that one more time.
They lost 10 in a row.
10 in a row, Dan. I don't care if you're the damn the New York Jets. I don't even care who the hell you are. There is no way you lose 10 in a row, Dan. No way.
And it was like the Broncos, the Steelers. I don't know what order it is. Broncos, Steelers, Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Broncos, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Falcons. Those are the teams they lost to.
I mean,
In that
they okay.
losing streak.
Okay. I give them the schedule that they had, Dan. But
Tough.
my God,
But
it was
still, 10
definitely
in a row is
10 in a row, Dan. 10 in a row. But you played back to back. Not back to back, but you played 3 division games there, and I think I heard a total of 5 division games there, Dan. So.
And they played the Chiefs tough. They only lost by 2, 19-17.
That's just craziness right there. That's
and
crazy.
lost by 7 to the Chiefs also.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost by a touchdown or less in both games they played with the Chiefs.
Right. What do you think the issue was last year, Dan? I mean, look.
Quarterback.
Okay. Quarterback I do. I agree with that. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. Dan, those are not starting quarterbacks. They're not starting quarterbacks.
They had all their quarterbacks combined, 19 touchdowns, 16 picks.
Wow. And that's combined both of Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew.
Minshew had 9 picks, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Wow.
O'Connell had 8 touchdowns, 4 picks. A better ratio.
But, Dan, who do we put this on? Can we all put it on the quarterback play? Because, Dan, there's no weapons, Dan. They're Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Dan, these aren't wide receivers.
They also gave up 25 points a game, but their defense is probably on the field a lot. I mean, they have Bowers and Myers, and that's it.
That's all they have, Dan. I mean, that's the issue.
And they both had 1,000 yards, both of them.
And Brock Bowers in his rookie season, right?
But 1,000 yards. They don't really have any other legit number 1 wide receiver.
They don't.
And running back.
Well, I mean, last year you go to Zamir White. Okay, you get that, and then what's his name? Sincere McCormick. He's the backup too. They weren't running backs, Dan, but Dan, they had no weapons, man. I don't care if you have freaking Tom Brady or Joe Burrows out there. He has no one to throw to, Dan. I mean, you take away Bowers, and it's just.
Yeah, but I would say coming up this year, they have Geno Smith. So that's going to make definitely a difference. They have Raheem Mostert they signed.
Exactly.
So that kind of addresses that a little bit, but they didn't have a lot. They really don't have much at all.
Agree. Foster's coverage checks in. He covers the Bears on the Bears Country podcast. Make sure you follow him as well. What's going on, Foster? Appreciate you checking in. Foster says the O coordinator for the Raiders sucked.
Yep, also. Yep.
That too, but my thing is
quarterback play.
Yeah, but my thing is, Dan, you can't.
No weapons.
You can blame the quarterback. You can blame the OC. But Dan, you got to put some blame on that GM where he doesn't go out and get pieces. Ever since Carr left, he's not bringing in anything. I don't care if you, like I said, I don't care who you have at quarterback, Dan. You have nobody to throw the ball to. And when you double team Bowers, what are you going to do? I mean, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, Dan, they're not names that we know. You know what I mean? Honestly,
they need a legit weapon. That's why McMillan at 6 could make sense for them. Getting a good weapon will make a lot of sense for them.
Agree.
I think their defense needs help too because they have Crosby,
right?
But they're going to need more than that.
Agree. Foster says Jacoby and Brock were 8 receiving. Exactly. I mean, Jacoby is a wide receiver, good wide receiver for that team. He's the one wide receiver, even though Brock is that slot hybrid, tight end. But those two are it. Otherwise, you go to the bench. You really can't even say much for the bench, Dan. I mean, it was just bad, but. You said their defense gave up 25 points a game, right?
Yep.
Dan, I blame that on the offense a lot. I think this defense is capable of keeping teams under 15, 7 points less. But Dan, when your offense goes 3 and out for 12 drives a game, and that defense comes on there gassed, I think they held their own, honestly, from what they were given, Dan, on offense.
Yeah, they had 18 points a game.
18, okay. With an offense that can't score, put it that way. So they played a hell of a lot of snaps more than the offense actually did. So, man, that's bad. That is really bad. I mean, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkinson, who do you have? Lafua, and what's his other names? Malcolm Kuntz. He's out there. I like their linebackers. I like Devin White. I like Luke Masterson. I think they're pretty good there, Dan.
And Spillane.
It's like exactly linebackers. Well, I like him too. I like Jeremy Chin from the Commanders that they picked up. I'm pretty cool with that one. I like their defense, Dan. But Dan, I mean, we'll keep it all together this week on the same team here. They're picking at number 6, Dan. Okay, I heard now Raheem Mostert. from the Miami Dolphins. He's a
Good pickup, I
utility.
think.
He is, but he's a utility back with A-Chain. A-Chain outbeat him for the starting job. Mostert's their two
Yeah,
back, basically. He comes over here. They're sitting at 6. You get Geno Smith, Dan. Now the issue is this. You have nobody to throw to except tight end Brock Bowers. Do you go maybe a McMillan, or do you get the franchise running back that I think
yeah.
right here, could they take Ashton Jeanty? What do you do?
I think they could take Gianti. I think they could take him
Yes.
possibly. At 6, I think it's a better. It's not a bad pick. Him or McMillan, I think, if you want to help your
Yeah.
offense,
Yep.
that would make sense. Yeah, there'll be a good Graham, the defensive lineman, will be there
Hmm.
for Baxter Crosby. That would be a good pick.
Right.
But I think Gianti would be a good pick also. I think it's possible he goes to the Raiders.
That's where I think he does go. And I actually was on Twitter a little bit earlier, Dan, when I came home, and I forgot
No.
who it was. I didn't screenshot. I just read it real quick. I was actually driving. I shouldn't say I was driving and looking at it, but I'll put it this way: I stopped at a stoplight and I looked at it, make it easier for the younger kids watching this out there to do the right thing. But I forgot who it was, Dan. Someone from the Raiders organizations. I don't know if it was the GM or somebody posted something and said, if we don't take Ashton Gente at 6, I'm done with the Raiders, and I'm sorry, I'm going to root for another team. And the caption was, "My son." He works for the Raiders. I don't know where he was, but I think he is the clear pick, Dan, at 6, man. This guy. And the other thing, I want to say this, Dan. This is the
You
reason
talk
why.
about Gianti?
Giante, yes. This
Yeah.
is the why I think they go Giante there, because of the fact their new head coach, Pete Carroll, he loves that beast mode running
Yeah.
back. That's the key why I think Jonte is going to be taken at 6. Jonte would take pressure off the exactly. I mean,
Yeah. Good
he's
run
look.
game takes pressure off the quarterback for
Yeah,
sure.
and you look at what he did at Boise State, Dan. They put 9 in the box. Kind of reminds me of a Barry Sanders type guy. Not that speed breakaway, the moves, scheme wise, but they put 9 guys in the box, Dan. He still ran over 120 yards against everybody, even Penn State, Dan. Even
Well,
Penn State.
I like Gianti because he's patient. Like he's a
Yes.
patient runner. He's not
Yes.
like he doesn't rush at all. He uses his blocks and then he seems to be very effective. We always just get to that second level
Hmm.
and he becomes a problem.
I agree.
Let's for the Giants take you maybe, but no. At 3, hell no.
I don't think you do that, Dan. I mean, for you guys,
If we were 8th or 9th, maybe.
yeah. I mean, if you were sitting at 6, that's the best player available, Dan, because you might want to go
Yeah.
there 6. But when you're sitting at 3 and you got big holes where you need to start your team at 3,
Yeah, no.
even though you got Wilson and Jameis Winston, but I don't think you guys take him at 3. I think he's for the right team, yeah, top 5, but I think he sits between 6 and 10, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I think he does also. But the Raiders, I think they'll get much better quarterback play from Geno Smith, with both those tight ends. But getting another weapon, I think, is big. That's why I think it could be McMillan. But passing up on Ginty would be tough to pass up. You're
I
going
agree.
offense.
Like Genti to the Raiders, which helps Geno out. Also, Geno signing signing the free agents out there. See, this is where I think a Tyler Lockett might come into play a little bit later, Dan. He's still
Tyler
available
Lockett
out
would
there.
be a good pickup for
He's
them, I think.
familiar. He's familiar with them. Geno,
Yep.
he's familiar with, and Pete Carroll, he's familiar with. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would be a smart move there as well. But
So do
Dan,
I.
I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. If John Tay's gone top 5, let's say some team goes out of the box 1 through 5. The Raiders sit there. I'm going to give you 2 names, Mason Graham and Terrence McMillan. Where do you go?
Well,
Both are franchise players on both sides of the ball, Dan. Where do you go?
Graham is probably the better player overall.
From Michigan, right. What do you take? Matching him up with Crosby, Dan. Opposite of Crosby. You got bookends for the next 10 years.
I'm taking Mason Graham.
Really? You're going to give up the weapon for him? Okay.
I'm going to take a receiver with my second pick that I have from the Raiders. Because it's good about wide receivers there.
Wow, okay.
You could take there's a receiver from Ole Miss. I forget his name.
Oh, hold on. Trey Harris.
Trey Harris, who would be a
yes,
good
he's good. He's a flyer. He's a flyer. I have him written down on my board.
He's about 6'2", and I think they did a receiver later in the draft. I think they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mason Graham next to Crosby,
that's what I mean.
He's a good player, man. Hold on a second.
if a top 2 quarterbacks drop with the Raiders. I do think they take a quarterback late, Dan, because the thing is, Geno just got extended 2 years.
If Sanders is there at 6.
But okay, Dan, would you really take Sanders at 6 because you put all your eggs in a basket today? The Raiders gave, Geno Smith a 2-year extension. Yes. They gave him a 2-year extension today, $42.5 million a year, all the way to 2027. They had him on 1 year. They gave him 2 more years. He's not going to be sitting the bench at $45 million a year. I would not get a quarterback until maybe next year, Dan, maybe the following year. I can't, because Geno is not a slouch by any means. Okay, he can play ball. You need weapons for him. You go out and get Jonte. Maybe, like you said, in the second round, you go out because they have pick 37, Dan. You're still going to get a 1 wide receiver at 37. You can take running back and you go wide receiver at 37. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, that's what I would do, because Mason Graham is a top 5
Oh,
player.
Agree.
He's top 5 in the draft overall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Michael says Mason Graham. I think it'd be a great pick for them at 6. I think it'd be a great pick.
I agree.
Yeah, their pass rush should be really good, and their defense needs help. So Michael says offensive line, defensive lines wins. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But in the Raiders case, Dan, I mean, are you okay going? Let's say you take a
McMillan's a good pick, though.
It definitely is. That's what I'm saying. I mean, but Dan, you look at these wide receivers out there. You don't have to take them in the first round. There's some gems in the second round, just like you said. Trey Harris, Dan, he's looking at second, third round. To me, he is definitely a high second round pick out of Ole Miss. I like this kid. I have him number 5 on my wide receiver board. That's how high I have him. But man, Dan, what do you think, Dan? I mean, you look at Geno Smith, Raheem Mostert, maybe a Jonte. Are you okay to go into the season with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker and Brock Bowers as your starting offensive unit? I'm not.
No, but I still think you can get good wide receiver talent in the second and third round.
Okay.
I still think.
Okay.
I still think that's possible.
Got you. Now, I did a little thing a couple of days ago when I was kind of bored here. I was sitting because I was doing another guy's podcast talking about some teams out there about the draft. And this is what I had the Raiders doing, Dan. I have them going number 6. I got them at going Jonte, okay? I have them in the second round looking at Trey Harris. When you mentioned that name, I have him second round.
Would be another good pick? Jaden Higgins.
Really?
If he was 6'4", 214.
It's a big wide receiver. That's a big wide receiver, 6'4".
Matthew Golden from Texas. And
what if Mbukike drops?
Yeah, Mbukike would be a great pick. Mbuka, I think Mbuka would be a great pick.
Yeah, Ohio State. I don't like that kid because his mother spilled fucking hot sauce all over my jersey.
I would take him. You have Burton the third.
Luther Burton. Okay.
Well, there's plenty of wide receivers you can take later in the draft.
There's a guy.
Great pick, though.
There's a guy, Dan, I think that they can get in possibly 4th round. I think he is dropping on boards. A lot of people don't like this kid, but this kid, Jack Beach, I don't know if you ever watched him from TCU. Yeah. He's a nice wide receiver too, Dan. And I'm looking at maybe fourth round. Possibly he might be last in there. I'd take a flyer on him because he's that guy that can move inside and out on both sides, Dan. I think he would be a great pickup for them as well.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, 6'1", 214.
Mm-hmm. So do you think they're going to go mostly offense, Dan? Because I have a feeling here that one of my guys from Notre Dame might end up here, Xavier Watts. I like this kid, playing corner and safety from Notre Dame. I think he could fit there. I think he could fit there as well. But I think it's offensive heavy for this draft for the Raiders this year. I really do. That 6'4" wide receiver you mentioned, didn't he run a 4.3? I didn't even see what he ran though, Dan.
I'm not sure what he ran.
Honestly, I didn't watch the combine. I didn't watch any of the combine this year, except for the quarterbacks throwing because I did want to see some of the quarterbacks throw. But Dan, I know we talk draft on this team here. Let's just say the best possibility, Dan. They hit, Jonte. They hit wide receiver. They go defense third. They solidify holes in this division, Dan. We know this division. God, you finished 4-13, Dan. You had 3 teams, basically the third team one notch away from the playoffs, Dan. What are you going to give the Raiders from 4-13 next year? Where are you going to go?
7 or 8 wins.
Really? Okay, 7 or 8 wins. Okay. So you got them 7-9 or either 8 and 9-8 or okay, 7-10, 7-10,
7-10, 8,
Okay.
9, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Tough division.
It really is, and we can't really base on the schedule. We don't know what the back-to-back games are. Who we're playing before that beforehand. I kind of agree with you, Dan. I think I'm going to go 7-10 for this team. I mean, even though it's only a 3-game jump from last year, but they're not far off, Dan, because there was a lot of games they lost, under a field goal. Honestly, the defense. If the offense can put up a little bit more points, Dan, or never not put up points, sustain drives to keep that defense off the field.
You can't sustain drives, you're going to give up points. So you get stuck on the field.
Yeah.
Like if you keep going 3 and out, your defense will get stuck on the field 30, 35 minutes a game. And that's not that's not a good formula.
Wide receivers a good class. I'll go past 100. Beach, Bryant out of Illinois, Sibian Williams, Auburn, Kendra Lamar Smith. He does a wide receiver that look good. I agree. I mean, there's some picks out there. Honestly, you think about it. A lot of people are just looking at, the big boys, McMillan, Burdham, and Bukake, these guys. But there are some out of the box picks out there. There's some out of the box picks out there that can really, solidify a spot on your roster. That's a good one, folks. I love those names.
Because like top 10, you want a player that's like impact right away.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a receiver can't be a McMillan can't be impact right away.
Right.
But you want a player you're going to play and start and a guy you can plug in right away.
Right, exactly. I mean, top 10, you're looking at a franchise player, basically. Yeah, you're looking at a franchise player to come in there right away to start that. But when you're, picking there, you got holes to fill. You got to look at there and just say, hey, you know what? This is the player I'm looking at. Okay, I got to go best player available because at this point, you need offense, defense, wide receiver, running back. You have so many holes to fill. So you got to fill those roster spots, number one. That's what you have to do. So let's move on to the second team, Dan. I mean, this team really, we talked about it in the beginning. This team surprised the hell out of me. The Denver Broncos with rookie, going from a rookie here, Dan, Bo Nix under the Sean Payton system, second year. How do you feel about the Denver Broncos, Dan? 10-7, Dan. 10-7.
I think they're sitting pretty well. I think they found a quarterback. They took a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He had a hell of a season: 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks, 93.3 rating. I mean, he did a great job. And Sutton had an excellent season. With 8 touchdowns. Mims had 6 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a pretty solid season. They had 3 guys with almost 500 rushing yards, including Nix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I like the season. I think they're sitting pretty good now. You want to improve their offense. You want to improve their defense. I think they're in a really good position right now.
And the thing is, like, when Sean Payton out there, we know what he did, as an OC in Dallas. He went to New Orleans, what he did there. He made, even though I'm not saying Drew Brees was a slouch, he made Drew Brees better. He made Alvin Kamara. He made Michael Thomas. Yeah. He made that offense look so great. The first year with Russell Wilson, the one thing I like what Sean Payton did with Bo Nix, he went out in there, took the chance on him, drafted him early when we thought he was going to be a little bit later, brought him in, Dan. But he played to Bo Nix's advantage, Dan. It looked like Bo Nix, the 6-year starter in college, he came in and he utilized him in ways that he was better for himself, Dan. Yeah. He didn't say, go out and be this guy. Don't go be my Drew Brees. Don't go out and be Russell Wilson. Go out and be Bo Nix, and I'm going to put the offense around you, Dan, because that kid carried some games on his back, Dan. As a rookie, that's hard to digest, really. You don't see that often. You really don't.
Yeah, he ran for 430 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Agreed.
So you attributed to the run game.
Mm-hmm.
He was efficient on offense.
Yeah.
66% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably the most positive thing about last season. Was Bo Nix had a solid season as a rookie.
Yeah, you said the wide receiver. Yeah, you said the wide receivers. I like the wide receivers. I love Cortland Sutton. I like Mims. I think they're great. Their wide receivers are okay for what they have. Maybe they could use one more wide receiver, to get in that slot to take away the difference there. But
maybe, but they had guys like Sutton had 81 receptions, Mims had 39, Valet had a 41.
Mm-hmm.
The running back Jamal Williams had 52. Mm-hmm. Humphrey had 31. Franklin had 28. He spread the ball around like a lot.
Okay.
How do you call a lot of passes?
How do you feel about this, Dan? I mean, they lost Javonte Williams, their running back. Okay, he goes to Dallas this year. you're going into a second-year season with Audric Estime and Magilla McLaughlin. How do you feel about that, Dan? Do you want to solidify the running back here? Do you want to solidify the wide receiver? The defense, Dan, their defense played pretty damn good as well.
Yeah, their
So
defense is really good.
that's what I mean. Their defense, man, God, I think they were the best defense in that division. And to be honest with you, all throughout the season, I think they were the best defense.
Because Estime only had 76 carries.
What's that?
Well, Estime only had 76 carries all year last year.
That was a surprising. All your guests to me, I called him. I do the Golden Dome on Saturday, Notre Dame show, and I tell you, he was like a bowling ball, and I compared him to like a Jerome Bettis type guy. I thought Denver would go back to that Kubiak run block system, and I think that's what under Sean Payton they didn't do that. But I was so disappointed that they only gave him under 80 carries for the entire year, Dan. It was.
I mean, they have pick 20. They could take a running back at pick 20. Omarion Hampton.
Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. I have him actually on my board as that's where I have Denver taken, Dan. Going right there, Omarion Hampton.
Ollie Gordon, the second or the third.
Ollie Gordon. I think I would take Hampton because Gordon, he was injured late in that back half of the season, and he didn't really look that good. I would probably go Omarion Hampton. I think he's NFL ready. But
yeah, I like Hampton. I think he's to be a solid player.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, are you going in
20?
Do you take a flyer on a quarterback here? I mean, you're looking at Jared Stitton and Sam Ellinger. I mean, both clipboard guys. Do you take are you okay? If Bo Nix goes down, that's a drop off, Dan. I mean, I don't think they need a quarterback at all.
It is, but I don't think they need a quarterback. I don't think it really is something they should be focused on.
Agree.
To be honest, I mean, they have Bo Nix. You're better off signing a backup or something if you're really concerned about that. But they could take one late, maybe.
If they do, I'm probably going to think it's a 5th round, 6th round, just a utility guy right now, But Dan, I tell you what, if I'm this team, I think the defense is set, Dan. I like this defense the way they play. They're strong. The back end is strong. To me, Dan, I mean, the only two places I can maybe go is offensive line here. Maybe Mike McGlinchey's on the right side is perfectly fine. You have Garrett Bowles on the left side. I think they're good there. The line is, stand out okay. But my thing, Dan, maybe you want another wide receiver here. I mean, maybe best available. I mean, you look at those guys. I mean, Dan, the defense is set. I like their defense, Dan. I mean, I really do. The front seven, Zach Allen, DJ Jones. You got Franklin Myers. I think they're good, Dan. The line, there's a comment there. Michael Papernick, what did you say? How's the linebackers? I mean, linebackers, you're fine. You got Bonilla, Singleton, and Greenlaw. I mean, they're solid guys. Their corners, all-world Patrick Surtain. They're good, Dan. They're good.
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean, they don't have a lot of holes to fill, but if you're the Broncos sitting at 20, Dan, is this a thing where we're saying, I have my board, I have my pick, but if he's gone, are we going best available?
I would say you're going to go best available, but a wide receiver would be a nice add. I was just see if they did a tight end, but they signed Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram. Yeah, he's an upgrade from what they had, Dan. I think it's a good pick for them. I mean, it's like with the Raiders having Brock Bowers. I mean, it's a different 1A, 1B, 1A CC, but
I think Hampton. If Hampton's there at 20, I think it'd be a good pick.
I think that would be a pick. I think that would be a pick because Estime only had 76.
Adding another wide receiver wouldn't be a bad idea either. I don't think.
Okay.
But they have guys that could contribute pretty nicely.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, they're not far down in the second round. They're at 51. That's still wide receiver game right there too.
It is
in the draft.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? Yeah. Go out and get that Omar Hampton at 20 there. You picked up your running back to run a combo with Jaleel McLaughlin and Audric Estime. You got a trio of running backs. You did it last year all year. Now you go out and get 51 here and you go get a wide receiver. Hell, those wide receivers might be there, Dan. You go out and get a Beach, a Trey Harris out there, a big receiver, and you complement them with Sutton and Marvin Mims. You're in good shape, Dan. You're in good shape.
Yeah, because they have Sutton and Mims, and the other guys are all, backup guys. But I think wide receiver would be a good pick. But if they want to, if players hire their ball defense, they're going to take them too.
I agree. Michael's got that's exactly what Michael says right there. I think the Broncos can draft the linebacker and take over Singleton. Would you take a linebacker at 20, Dan? Because I think there's 3 solid linebackers that I like.
I'll take the guy from Tennessee if he's there.
Which one's that?
Spence, what's his name?
Okay, Pence Jr. Pence Jr. Okay.
Pence Jr.
Now he's a guy, Dan, that everybody's saying dropping in their board. They're looking at him late first round. I've seen things where he's possibly go from 27 to 32 or early second round. Would you reach at 20 to take him?
If he's high on my board, yes.
Really? Okay. Would you?
I like him.
With you as a GM for the Denver Broncos, with what they had, Dan, would you take the chance to move up to at your 20? Would you take him at 20?
I'm going to take the best player available.
Okay. Okay. 20. Okay.
Yeah, he's probably not the best player available at 20, but he's around there, I would say.
Mm-hmm. What about John Campbell?
I like John Campbell.
I think he might be gone, though, honestly. I think he's going to be a reach player. I think people are looking at the way he plays. I think he's a little bit not overrated, but I think a lot of people have him high on the board, that he might be a top 20 player, which they are sitting at 20. That could make sense as well. But, man, Dan, 10-7, Bo Nix, second year. Does he have a sophomore slump? I don't think he does, because he's a veteran in college, 6 years.
I could take Shamar Stewart if he's there.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good pick.
Okay.
Matthew Golden.
Ooh. Okay.
McMillan, if he falls, I would definitely take him if he falls.
If McMillan drops to 20, Dan, there's something wrong.
I know.
There's something wrong. This could be, Dan, the year Randy Moss came out. Everybody passed on Randy Moss, Dan. This could be like a Randy Moss thing where something in the interview
think he goes in between 10 and 15.
I think he goes before that, Dan, because, man, if he drops at 12, my mouth is going to be watering, Dan, at 12 for the Dallas Cowboys to take him. 12, that's a steal, Dan. That's a Christmas in April for any team, Dan, really. Even if you don't need a wide receiver, that's Christmas for you right there. That is 100%. But, Dan, 10-7 Broncos last year. You gave the Raiders at least 9. You gave them a 5-win or 3-game difference going up to 7. Where do we have the Broncos this year? Not a lot of holes to fill. Defense is top 5 in the NFL.
I'm going to say,
where are we going?
13-4.
Holy shit! Dan, hold on a second. Hold on. Jump back in the box with me for a second. Back in the box with me for a second. Dan, you said 13-4.
I think they're going to be better.
Dan, that's Dan, 13. Somebody call 911 because I got a breathing problem. 13-4, Dan.
Yep.
Holy shit! Wow, 13-4. Oh my god. I'm not going to go that high, Dan. I mean, listen, you got to knock the Kings off the pedestal. That's the Chiefs in your division. The Chargers got better, Dan. I understand 10-7. I'm gonna go 11-6. I'll
go 12-4. I'll go 12-5 then.
God. Man. But you know what? 13-4, Dan, would not be surprising though. I mean, Sean Payton is a hell of a coach. He's putting this team together.
I'm sorry, I think they're gonna have a good year.
You know what, Dan? The crazy thing is they better hit in the draft because they only have 3 draft picks in the entire draft this year. That's the thing.
True.
Number 20. What do I have? Number 20, number what? I'm sorry, they have 4. I'm sorry. 20, 51, 85, and 122. So you really think about it, Dan, you're getting 3 solid players in the first 1, 2, and 3.
I have 3 6th-round picks, but those don't matter.
3, I don't count 6 rounds. I mean, they're utility players, but man, God. Thank God I didn't have a damn asthma attack, Dan, after you said 13-4, honestly. But I could see it, Dan, because I'm not going to knock Sean Payton. I'm not going to knock Bo Nix. That is possible, but there's got to be a huge downfall with the Chiefs, Dan, which we'll talk about coming up in a little bit here.
Not necessarily huge.
Not necessarily.
The Chargers that falter a little bit. Who knows?
Grant will be there at 20, but I'm hearing anywhere from 10 to 30. What do you think about that?
Maybe.
I think he could. I mean, with this draft, I mean, one player taken out of the way, Dan, could drop this draft like going crazy. You know, because one player, that's all it takes in the draft there. I need an inhaler. Damn right, Foster. I mean, Dan threw a curveball at me with that saying right there. God, oh gosh. Raiders 6. Okay, see, I got him at 11 too. I got him at 11. So you're going to give him 12 to 13, right, Dan? You're going 12,
Yep.
13? Okay. I can see it.
Yeah, 12 and yeah.
Okay, I can actually see that. I can actually see that. That's fine. I'll give you that. I'll go there too. I'll give them 11 wins, one advantage for next year. Wow, man. I don't think they. Do you think it's possible that they take a regression? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible. But I think it's a team that might be better.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong damn button. I hit my refresh button by accident.
I was gonna say, did I like lose something? Like,
I hit the refresh button on accident. I got my tablet here. I hit refresh on my tablet, and my tablet's hooked into this microphone through there. All right, let's go, Dan. Let's talk about the Chargers here, Dan. Let's talk about them. Another Dan thing that we didn't think about, from the year before. New head coach coming from Michigan, the Harbaugh guy. The offensive mind and run, smash mouth, run the goddamn ball, play some defense. Brought in Minter from Michigan, Dan. So he had his crew, Dan. He had his coaching staff. But would the team buy into that philosophy? Dan, yes, they did. They bit into the philosophy, the Harbaugh system. How do you feel, Dan? 11-6. 11-6.
Ah, they had a really good season. Their defense is outstanding. Herbert didn't have the greatest season, but he was efficient. At least it's 23 touchdowns, 3 picks.
But I mean, that's a bad year for him.
Good.
Usually he's 35 touchdowns a year.
Yeah, that's a down year. That's a down
100%,
year for sure.
100%.
It's not as good as it was, but he didn't need to be because they ran the ball really well. Their defense is really good. Their defense was the best in the NFL. Only giving up 17 points a game, 17.7, and they scored 23-6 a game.
Okay. Now, I tell you what, Dan, the MVP of that team last year was, my God, out of Georgia, Ladd McConkey.
Oh, he had a good year with McConkey.
A 6-foot wide receiver, played outside, inside. This guy, Dan, I mean, I don't know if he has Velcro on his gloves. This dude we've seen it at Georgia. This kid can catch anything out there, Dan.
Yeah, 82 catches, 112 targets, 1,149 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Amazing season.
14-yard average.
Yeah, amazing. God, Ladd McConkey, man. Now, the one that kind of surprised me, Dan, if you have his numbers, Dan, since you have it up there, what was Quentin Johnston's numbers this year, Dan?
91 targets, 55 receptions, 711 yards, 8 touchdowns.
I thought he would have benefited a lot more, Dan, with Ladd McConkey on the field. I really did. I thought he would get a lot more, not targets, but more catches.
Touchdown-wise, it's a good year.
Yeah, touchdown-wise, I thought he would be more targeted. Well, catches, I would say more. I thought he was going to be in that 80, possibly to 90 mark, Dan, this year. I really did. Really did.
What's up, Eddie?
What's going on, Eddie? Now,
the Chargers need another wide receiver, maybe, but I think they're pretty solid. Actually,
they have Mike Williams. Okay, they have Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey, of course. Now Jalen Reagor. Now, Dan, remember when we did the draft, Dan? This is where I think one of the wide receivers are going to have, not this year, but I think he gets a lot of targets. The guy that I thought was going to be my unsung wide receiver, the son of Jerry Rice, Brendan Rice, is here on the bench. He's their 5th wide receiver coming in. I think this kid has a breakout season when given the chance, Dan. I really do. Brendan Rice.
Yeah, I've seen him play. He's an opportunity, right? So let's see if he gets it.
Out of Stanford, I mean, he was great out of Stanford. He really was, Dan. I like this kid playing. I'm sorry, out of USC. I'm sorry, USC.
USC. I was going to say, USC.
Yeah, USC. I mean, he had his route running is just like his dad's. I love this kid, but if he breaks the top 4, Dan, I mean, right now I think he's sitting at 5 behind Reagor, but man, if he hops in there, you give him a chance. I mean, I think his talent-wise, speed-wise, route running, IQ, I think it's great. But how do you feel about Najee Harris coming in? Dan, I don't like Najee Harris. I don't. I think he's lost his step.
I don't think it's a bad signing, but
it's not. No, yeah, I get that. Yes,
there's more to be desired, but I think it's a solid signing for depth.
Well, I think he's going to be the starter. Actually, I think he'll be the starter, but I think it's a good pickup for what was out there, Dan. I mean, for a pickup, a caliber that you're getting, a veteran coming in. But Najee Harris, man, he's not that. He's when he first came out of Bama, Dan, he was that bam run up the middle guy. Najee now is just I want to say he's more to me as a Le'Veon Bell type runner, Dan, a patient look for the gap runner. He's not what they need because that doesn't fit the hardball system, Dan, where the hole's there, the hole's going to be there. Have faith, get the ball, hit the hole. That's not Najee to me, Dan. That's not him. That's why I was that's why I was kind of surprised about this pickup. I understand it's a caliber veteran, maybe best available, where you don't have to reach.
It's definitely a depth guy. It's not like a guy who's not gonna carry the whole load.
Right.
But we got a couple of hold on comments here.
Okay, you pop them up. I think the Chargers regressed 9-8 or 10-7. I'm not sold on Herbert and brought back always injured Mike Williams. That's the thing, Mike Williams too. He's always injured too. I mean, he never plays an entire season. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's listed at 3 there, Dan. Maybe because I don't think you're going to upgrade either a Jalen Reagor or Brendan Rice Rice in his first year over a Reagor. Rager's been injured. He's been passed on from the Eagles to the Vikings everywhere. He's been journeyman. So maybe you do, Dan. Maybe at 22, maybe you take that wide receiver at 22, Dan.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
What if the Chargers get Allen back? He is a free agent. That would mean Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen only what Keenan Allen? You're talking about Keenan Allen, correct? Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I think he's
too many injuries with him. He's way too many injuries.
I'd rather draft the guy.
I'd rather go out and get other than getting a 35-year wide receiver, going out and get in at 22. If I'm there, go out and get a wide receiver that's young, a high flyer. You have him basically making $4 million a year for the next 5. For 5 years total, 22, 25 million. And he's young, 21, 22 years old. I go out and get a young wide receiver. Just remember, Herbert wasn't drafted. Oh, shit. Hold on. Damn, I'm losing my thing here, Dan. What the hell? I got to turn off my tablet, man. Got too many shits running over here, Dan.
Yeah, throw it out the window.
But, yeah, I know he wasn't drafted there. What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here, Dan?
I don't know,
man. You know what Najee is? What is Najee? I want to know, what is Najee? He got open with the Bears, but Caleb and the line hindered his effectiveness.
Keenan Allen, yeah.
Keenan Allen, yeah.
I think he's just long on the tooth.
Yeah. Chargers, 8 wins. Wow. 8 wins. You got him going back 3. Eddie, you got him going back 3. Damn.
10-7 if I had to guess now, but they signed a lot of players.
Yeah. I mean, their offensive line got better too, Dan. Dan, their offensive line, Harbaugh was playing no games. He goes out and steals Mekhi Becton from the Eagles, a solid offensive lineman.
That's a really solid signing.
Dan, you're putting him next to the big boy, Joe Alt. That right side of the offense there. Hell, if I'm Harris, run to the right, baby. Run to the right,
I like the Sean Hand. I like that signing.
Yes.
Defense.
Yep. I like their offensive line, Dan. I really do. Lashad Slater at left tackle. I think their bookends are fine. Alton Slater, I'm cool with that. You add Mekhi Becton on the right side here. You got Zion Johnson. He's a young cat too. He's good. But then you go to the defense. I mean, okay, Bosa's gone. But to me, Bosa's really lost a step, Dan, honestly.
He has.
He's not the Bosa name player, Dan, okay? So do you go defensive end? Maybe you go defensive end and solidify that spot, Dan.
Maybe.
I mean, you're looking at, who are we looking at here? Deshaun Hand? Who's he? Scott Matlock? Who is he? We don't know these defensive ends.
Yeah, they picked 22.
22. They have 22, 55, and 86, Dan. So what are you doing here, Dan? Are you going out and getting that third wide receiver? I think here, Dan, to me, there's 2 plays. Defensive end and defensive end. That's where I go. Defensive end, best available at 22.
There's Shamar Stewart.
Really? I'm short. Okay, you would take him at 20? You would go there? Or 22, I'm sorry. 22?
Oh, he's right in the 20s somewhere.
Okay.
Campbell. If he fell. Jahad Campbell.
Okay, I have Donovan, what's his name? Eckenberg from Boston College, defensive end. I like him. I love his space. I think might be a solid pickup at 22. I love his name there. and then maybe you come back in that 55 slot and you grab that wide receiver, Dan, because they are 1 through 100. Those wide receivers, you're going to get one. So I would go defensive end first. That's where I would go.
Yeah, someone said wide receiver. This is a guy like Higgins from Iowa
State.
That'd be
yeah, the wide receivers are deep this year. People don't really look at that out of McMillan, Mbuke. These guys are big names, but there's some highlight guys, Dan, that are going to be plug and play players for the right system. Honestly, they're you can't go wrong.
Gone.
Yeah, Bosa's gone.
Mack isn't young. Yeah, I get that.
Camille Mack, Camille Mack is their outside guy. 2.9 and 3.3 yards per carry. Najee, then the occasional. See, that's the thing. Najee Harris, man. Dan, I get what you said, and I agree with you 100%. Best available veteran, best available veteran player. But man, I mean, those numbers are not horrible alike, Dan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chargers need a starting wide receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Higgins could be there. Igbuka, Trey Harris.
Yeah.
Burden the third.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a Golden falls in that category.
Golden is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Millen is the best wide receiver of the draft.
Yeah.
Becton,
go ahead, Dan.
Becton,
I'm going to miss it. Go ahead, you got it.
Becton, I'm going to miss as an Eagles fan. It's like, that guy is a beast and yet humble. Plus, he learned under Stoutland.
Yeah. And you know what? You're right. I mean, Stoutland University, he's an offensive line guru, Dan. I mean, when he was at the Jets, Becton didn't have the greatest career, basically like a turnstile player, off the offensive line. And I tell you what, Jeff Stoutland turned
him, Thomas, or someone else, remember?
Yeah. Stoutland turned this guy around, and I mean, congratulations to him, and thank God he's not with the Eagles. And he got a paycheck, Dan. I mean, he earned it, though. I'll tell you that he earned it. He really did.
Yeah.
Tex Johnson would not be in my draft board. Wow. Damn, Ted Johnson. Wait, are you talking? Okay, no, is he talking Ted Johnson, Oregon wide receiver?
Maybe.
Okay, to the right team, I'm going to disagree. He is 150 pounds wet. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's like 158 pounds or something.
I get that, but God, Dan, remember last year when we said the draft, and I did that draft board, and I said at 32, don't be surprised that the Kansas City Chiefs take Xavier Worthy, and they did that. Certain players, Dan, go to certain teams, and they are what they need. You can't tackle what you can't catch. You know what I mean? You put him in a slot against somebody, Dan, and you run a go route. That corner or that safety or nickel comes down. That's a different story, Dan. Speed, man, is something that you can't mess with. I get how small he is. I get that. But, okay, Dan, now with the new rules of the kick return, maybe he's that late fourth-round guy, the kick returner, Kevontae Turpin. You go out and get a guy like that, Dan, that can beat the rules of the kickoff return now. That he's going to find a spot, but I think he's maybe a fourth round.
I do think Ted Johnson goes late in the draft, but still, I still think a wide receiver could help them. A running back at 22 could help them. Okay. A defensive player if he's there, but I think they go offense.
Would you take Omar Hampton here or Ollie Gordon? Because you mentioned Ollie earlier. Would you take Hampton or Gordon?
Omar and Hampton, I would take, yes. And Ollie Gordon, yeah, I'd take him.
Dan, I'm going to tell you a name real quick. What about Walter Nolan? Okay. Now, here's my name to you, Dan. This guy, to me, fits the Harbaugh system. Second round, Dan. Let's say 22, they go out and get best available. You're at 55 here. Excuse me, 55. Dan, what about the name? I love saying his name, Cam Scatterbo. This fits the lunch pail Harbaugh running back, doesn't it?
That would definitely be a good pick.
I think this is where he might go, Dan. I mean, listen, he takes these guys. I think it's solid for him. Harbaugh is tough. He's a lunch pail guy. God, Scatterbo is that lunch pail guy who brings 2 lunch boxes to work. This guy could fit, Dan. This guy could fit here.
You also had Trevion Henderson.
Who's better, Dan? Quinyon Judkins or Trevion Henderson, a committee backfield from Ohio State?
I like Judkins too.
Judkins is better. He to me reminds me of Jamar Gibbs. That's who he reminds me of.
I like Caleb Johnson from Iowa.
Okay,
But
solid.
would be a good pick, I think.
I agree. I think he's a lot of people have him drop into the third, which the Chargers have 86, Dan, third round. You know,
Yeah.
you're looking at a lot of people have him as a 6 rated running back in the draft. I have him at 4, Dan. I have him at 4, you know, for the right system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. Oh God. So where are we going with the Chargers, Dan? Where do you have them at? What ranking do you have them? From 11 to 6 to where are we at?
I'm gonna say 10-7.
Wow, you finally got a team regressing, huh?
Yep.
I don't. I think they are second place. I think they could challenge for this division, Dan. I got them going one game. Well, I got them going 12-5 this year, Dan. I think they're not far off. I like the offensive line. The defense is a little suspect. That's the only issue. But I believe in Harbaugh's system. I think Herbert's going to have a better statistical year. I think they get the weapons. But, God, you got to upgrade that defensive end spot on both sides, man. You do. So I still give them 12-5, Dan. I believe in the Harbaugh system. They bought into the system, Dan. They bought into it. So I'm gonna go 12-5 here. Oh man, I don't know if I should say that, but yeah, I'm gonna go 12-5 with them. All right, Dan. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, Dan. They didn't get the three-peat, Dan. They did not get the three-peat.
Nope.
They
They
did
definitely
not.
did not. They definitely got there,
They
but
got
definitely
there.
didn't get that three-peat.
They got there, Dan, but I mean, they didn't come up close, Dan. They got their ass kicked. They didn't come up
They got
close,
their ass
but
whooped.
my God, Dan. I mean, talk about an ass beating. That's something I never thought I would see with Andy Reid as the coach. Honestly, I would never thought I would see that, Dan, because Dan, weren't they down like 30 some points at one time in the first half or something like that? That to me, something I never thought I would see with a Andy Reid coach team, Dan. Honestly, I really never thought I'd see that. But let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs here, Dan. Let's talk about them. What do you feel? What do you feel?
I mean, you can't win them all, right? I mean, they got to the dance again, but didn't have the same result they wanted. Obviously, they're still a contender. It's still going to be a Super Bowl contender, but they
Great.
definitely struggled that last season. They definitely had a great season,
Yeah.
but they definitely had to really battle in some games the whole season, to get where they were, and they just ran into a better team that day. They got their asses handed to them, which you don't see a lot.
Better team for a better team for 60 minutes. I'll tell you that. That was one thing that I
Mahomes
never
got
thought I would
sacked
see.
6
Honestly,
times in that game.
it was 6 times. I thought it was more than that. Actually, I really did. But I mean, to me, Dan, you go 15-2, Dan. 15-2 the entire season. Going into the season, Dan, we've always talked about they are the team that Andy Reid can draft anybody, bring them in, even in the late half of the season. They fit the team scheme, Dan. But my thing is, you're still the cream of the crop of the AFC. You ran into a better team. That's the thing to me. Like I hate saying it, but you ran into the best team in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles, and it showed in the Super Bowl, Dan. But this is a team, Dan, even though you're 15-2, I don't care if they lost Tooney this year to the Bears. Okay, they're all standout offensive linemen. They lost him. But my thing is, Dan, this team here, it doesn't matter where they draft in. They are the cream of the crop. They know how to get players to buy into their system that fit their system, Dan. I don't know if it's a 15-2 year this year, Dan. I'm not going to go that high. I don't think they go 15-2. But what was the issue last year, Dan? I don't think there is an issue. They just ran into a better team, honestly. There isn't. Right. They just ran into a better team.
I don't think there is an issue. I mean, they had a solid, great season. You're just not going to win. Three-peats are tough. The fact that they got back there a third time in a row is impressive in itself.
And the thing is, too, Dan, they are coached.
Oh, they have amazing coaching
from the practice field to the game. Yeah, they're. I mean, I love what's his name. God, what's Spagnolia? I love the defense coordinator as well. But my thing is like what I was saying is they're coached from practice to the game. Dan, they should have lost at least 2 to 3 games this year. They found a way to win games. You can't knock them for that, Dan, because that's coaching. And the biggest word is execution. Execution. They execute to win games, Dan. So to me, even though they lost in the Super Bowl, not lost, they got their ass kicked. To me, right there, 3 or 4 games that they did. Yeah, I agree with that one. But my thing is, Dan, I can't give them other than an A+ for the whole season because, Dan, 15-2 and you lose to a better team. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, like I said, they won the last 2 Super Bowls. You go for a three-peat. Obviously, it's something that you really want, but the Eagles just played an outstanding football game, outstanding in the playoffs. They just got to play in every aspect of the game. It's just the way it goes.
Agree.
But they're still a contender. They're still going to be a Super Bowl contender. They're still, a great coach team.
Yeah,
I don't know what else you really say about the Chiefs. They're going to improve and have another good draft, and they'll be back again. They might be back in the AFC title game again. Wouldn't surprise me.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people say it was because they're running backs. I mean, listen, I disagree with that because Isaiah Pacheco, yeah, he was hurt late in the season. You go out and get Hunt, but Kansas City is cocky for
Dave Yardall.
I don't think it was cocky, Dave. There's an issue when you go 15-2 and you run into the juggernaut called the Philadelphia Eagles. To me, that was not being cocky because to me, cocky is one thing, but when you go back-to-back Super Bowl appearances and win them both, and then the third year you're there again. That's not cocky. That's just, yes, I'm the best. I'm on the pedestal. That's not cocky to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I can't say they're cocky though. To me, cocky would be like all of them coming out and doing the Kansas City Chiefs shuffle or some shit like that. They didn't do that. They're very humble. I would say that about the Chiefs. And it all comes from Andy Reid. It all comes from Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Did I freeze? Did I freeze, Dan?
Your camera's frozen. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's what it is because I was getting ready to tell you that I have a huge, severe lightning storm. But you can hear me, right?
Oh, there you go. Now you're not frozen.
Hey, I'm back. I just looked outside. It scared the shit out of me. That's why I turned. We have a huge lightning storm coming down. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on here. But if I freeze, I apologize. This way you can't see my ugly face. We're good now. Okay. All right, you control, Dan, because I don't want to touch anything unless I go crazy here.
Yeah, but the Chiefs had an excellent season. Let's see. They still got a lot of weaker. Yeah.
Well, they lost Dooney. Yeah, I mean, he's a standout offensive lineman.
Maybe that's what they focus on, their offensive line, because I think receiver wise they're solid.
Yeah.
But they're always looking to make their receiver room better.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is really good. So I mean, they don't really have a lot of holes to fill.
I agree.
Let's just get more talent. 10, 11 wins. The only line can help and help. A wide receiver could help too. It always does.
Okay, with the wide receivers though, Dan, you got Xavier Worthy, Rashid Rice, Hollywood Brown, Juju Schuster, Sky Moore, who was basically injured the entire season. I think that is an Andy Reid roster right there, Dan. You have size and you have speed. I think they're fine at wide receiver. I really do. I think they're good there.
I think offensive line. Tune's a tackle, right? Tune's a tackle.
Yes.
I think they might draft one of those tackles.
I agree. I think at 31, Dan, I think they go 31. There's two guys that I like to kind of fit the Andy Reid system here, and I'll give them to you. Out of Oregon, I got Josh Connolly going there, outside tackle there, and I got a guy called Gary Abel from North Dakota State. Both offensive linemen there. I think that is Tune's, I want to say his replacement or try to replace him, put it that way. That's where I think they go. I don't think they go wide receiver because unless there's a guy running a 4-2, Dan, or a 4-3, that's not Kansas Chief material.
Yeah, definitely not.
No. Mm-mm. How do you feel about their backup? If Mahomes goes down, how do you think about Gardner Minshew?
I think Minshew would be fine within Reid's offense, to be honest.
I think he would too. I mean, he likes to get out of the pocket. He looks like, likes to, if it's not there, run. I think he's a good backup for this team under the scheme. I like that. But
I think it would be fine. I don't see them really addressing quarterback on the draft either.
I agree. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine.
That's something they do.
I agree. Their defense is good, Dan. That defense is solid, man. I mean, you're anchored by Chris Jones, of course. They pick up Jerry Tillery. I think they're good there. Drew Tranquil's a solid outside linebacker. Bolton, Chanel, Duffy at corner. They're good. Kendra Fulton at corner. I think they're good. Maybe the only thing I could see is maybe taking a play at a safety here. Maybe a Benjamin Morrison or something like that. I know I'm Notre Dame big on this, but Xavier Watts couldn't come into play there. A safety play here, maybe, but I think hands down, Dan, you got to go offensive line because you lost your all-pro in Tune. You lost them.
I think you got to go offensive line also. It makes the most sense with Mahomes and
I agree. Agree.
You did
100%.
solidify that. You did a wide receiver later in the draft or edge guy later in the draft.
Agree.
I think that they picked 31, obviously.
Yeah, 31. Man, wow. I mean, you're looking at 31, Dan, 31, 63. Now they do have back-to-back picks in basically the end of the second round, Dan.
Yes, they do.
I mean, they picked up DeAndre Hopkins off that deal there, and they got 66 there. So that's a
good
great
pickup for them.
Yeah, you're going to get basically three great players in the first two rounds, or early first third. But you're going to have three players that are going to solidify your team there. But man, Dan, 15-2. Dan, I can't see it. I can't see anything like that this year. Can you?
No. 12-5. 12 wins at most.
I agree with you, Dan.
I think the division's going to be close next year.
Dan, I agree, Dan. I agree.
Or so.
I agree. I got them going 12-5 as well. I mean, I know who they play, but those back-to-back games, Dan, you said it. Number one, this division's gotten stronger. You can't slouch the Raiders either this year either.
No, you can't.
You're going to be playing the number one seed schedule in the NFL for the AFC this year. Yeah. You're going to be playing, you're going to be playing top teams. And God, Dan, 12-5, man, I feel it. 12-5 is their ceiling, honestly. It could be an 11-win season this year, Dan. It really could.
No, I definitely think they'll be a playoff team, but it's not. I don't think they'll have a great season as they had.
Agree.
They really got, just got by in a lot of games, and they dominate a lot of people. But they did what they had to do. They got the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
They just ran into a better team. I think it's impressive going to 3 Super Bowls in a row and winning 2 of those 3.
Then as of right now, I mean, we're talking maybe they're 1A, 1B in their division. Where do you have them in the entire, because this is the last week we're talking about the AFC, Dan. We're done with the AFC now after today. How do you rank the top 3 teams in the AFC, Dan? How do you see them from any division? How do you rank 1, 2, and 3 right now going into this next season prior to the draft?
I'm going to say that the Chiefs are one of those 3.
Who do you have number 1, though? Give me your 1, 2, and 3 right now.
The Ravens.
Ravens at 1? Okay. You got Ravens at 1. Okay.
Kansas City 2.
Okay.
And 3 Buffalo.
I have my same 3 as you, but in a different order. I have. Man, I want to put the Ravens at 1, Dan, but Lamar Jackson in the playoffs is a different story for me, Dan.
True.
I got to go. Shit. Damn it.
Allen.
Dan, I know. That's what I'm contemplating. I can't put the Chiefs at number 1 because I think they think downfall from 15 down to 12. I'm going to go Ravens 1, Bills 2, Chiefs 3, and I'll give you number 4, Dan. I think
Denver,
this team can.
Chargers.
No, I'm going to go way out of another division, Dan. In the same division as Baltimore. I think this team, Dan, can score 40 points a game and somehow through the draft build this defense. I'm going to go Cincinnati Bengals, my number 4, out of the box team, Dan. Out of the box. I really do. But who knows, man? I mean, hell, who knows? The Chargers, the Broncos, they can make a play for it. I'm not sold on the wide receivers as they have no. But, Michael, listen to this, though. I understand that.
They need a number 1.
But here's the thing, though. We talk about Kansas City, just like I said earlier.
They don't need a traditional.
Right. You fit players in the draft that fit your scheme. Okay. You look at their wide receivers. Yes. Xavier Worthy's, what is he? He's a high flying speed guy. Okay. Juju is a guy that nobody wants, but he comes in just to solidify a role. Okay. You look at Rashid Rice, small guy, but what does he have in common? Speed. Okay. Sky Moore, a little bit bigger wide receiver, but speed. And you look at Hollywood Brown. What does he have? Small as hell. Tez Johnson size guy, right, Dan? Tez Johnson size guy. Yep. Hollywood Brown, small as hell, but what does he have? That 4.3 speed. That's what fits. When you go, say if you go out, we get DeAndre Hopkins last year. He was like the 4th wide receiver, Dan. The big names don't mean anything under the Andy Reid system. They don't need a number 1 to me.
They don't need 1.
They don't. That's just me. That's just me coaching. He's got Buffalo, Ravens, and Kansas City. Okay. Everybody thinks the top 3 teams. I agree with that, but the only downfall is Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, Josh Allen in the playoffs to me. Buffalo's been to a couple AFC titles, unlike the choker Lamar.
Maybe,
I get that too. But man, I mean, I give the notch to Josh Allen because when he lost Diggs last year, I thought there were going to be a little bit of downfall. But you're playing with Shakir out there. You're playing with unknown guys, Keon Coleman. But I'm just glad they're about to sign James Cook. I'm not sure if they did. The rumor was he's actually contemplating getting a big deal. Michael's got the Chiefs still at number one. Okay, you can't downfall the champs until you knock them off. I get that too. I get that. Dan, before we get out of here, Buffalo was that? The Buffalo has the right what? What is that? The right P. Punter? What are you talking about, Eddie?
Oh no.
Paul, Eddie, Dan, stay safe. I'll catch you down the road. Hey, Foster, no problem, man. We got to get you on this year and talk to you about, your Chicago Bears, because I think they're going to have a heavy year. They reloaded on offense. They reloaded on defense. And if you can protect Caleb Williams, you might have a pretty goddamn good season, because that division is stacked, brother. That division is stacked too. That NFC North is stacked, man.
Buffalo has the right receivers.
They do, but just like, okay, there's a thing right there, Dan, talking about wide receivers. You don't need that A1 wide receiver, Shakir, Coleman. You don't need those guys. That's a system that fits what their scheme is. That's exactly like Kansas City.
Hold on.
The receivers couldn't get open in the Super Bowl. But you're dealing with an Eagles defense that is top one in the league. Good. You got Quentin Mitchell. You got Cooper.
Played a great game.
You got Slay. You got three of the top corners in the top five on your team. I don't give a damn if Tom Brady's out there throwing the Randy Moss.
Like fucking 21-0.
Listen, Vic Fangio put a system out there. It was like, okay, you know what? We believe in what we're doing. We're going to run with it.
And no answers.
But the thing is, they couldn't get open. But 15 out of the 17 games in the season, they got open. You know what I mean? So that one game, you got to give credit to hands off to the Eagles, because that is what they ran into, the Eagles. I can move Casey off possibly 3. Want to see the roster? Absolutely, Paul. We'll do something. Definitely, brother. Definitely. Yep. Buster, on Twitter, send me your cell phone. This way I can keep in contact with you, because I haven't been on Twitter that much, honestly, because Twitter's been like a no-show for me, honestly, anymore. I can't deal with, Elon Musk's new rules and stuff like that. So no wide receiver in the AFC can get open against the Eagles in that game. That's what I mean. You ran into a juggernaut, man. Let's 15-2 the season.
No wide receiver core in the NFL for any team.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, nobody. I mean, God, it's
who they were playing. They were that.
It didn't matter at all. It didn't matter. I mean, I tell you what, the Eagles locked down everybody. I mean, there was like a personal injury claim, Dan, and you know what that means. Yeah. God, personal injury claim. Reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Jason Fine, motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. First in New Jersey, it's Cherry Hill, 3 Greensward Lane. In Pennsylvania, in the city of brotherly love, right down there in Center City, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120, which I'll actually be there next week. We got to talk about a couple cases. And also my neck of the woods, Pittsburgh, PA, 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. Make sure you reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123, and make sure you mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. We always say, no recovery, no fee. And when you mention Out of the Box, you're part of the family. And of 33.3%, no recovery, no fee. Just mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Last but not least, there's our regular schedule for the week. Tonight, of course, it's Dan and I, the NFL Weekly Talk. Tomorrow, it's going to be 10 p.m. tomorrow. Silver and Black Raiders there. If you want to talk Raiders, talk to Ken Fry. He's going to let you know if he wants Jonathan, if he wants McMillan. Where is he going? And also, tomorrow night, Dan, what time are you guys to be hopping on tomorrow night?
8:30 p.m.
8:30. There you go. Big Blue Power Hour. They're going to let you know what they're going to do at number 3 out there with him and Eb talking that New York Giants Big Blue Power Hour. Right after that, right before that's going to be Inside the Octagon, myself and Josh talking UFC. And Saturday night, round out the week there, we got Atomic Drop Podcast. Ken, Larry, Kurt, Dave, they're all hopping on there to talk about some WWE. As Dave always says, it's 18 days to WrestleMania. So make sure you check them out. Make sure you subscribe. Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. And make sure you always think outside the box for your podcast. So, Dan, we have one division left, Dan. Wow.
Yes, we do.
And you know the crazy thing is, Dan? The only reason we're talking about our division last is because we hate saying it, is because those goddamn Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Washington was there too, Dan. NFC Championship.
They were close.
They were there. Yeah. But Dan, other than them 2 teams, I think we would have talked about our division pretty much in the first or second week, Dan. for our two teams, mine and yours.
At least our division represented well.
Hey, you know what? We're part of the NFC East, Dan. We're up there, but that's why we're last in the conversation. You know, hate saying it, but yeah, NFC East next week, Dan, and then after that, we have one more week prior to the NFL draft, which we will think about something to talk about there, and then I know that Thursday night, that third week there, that is draft night. So I think we always do that late, first round draft there. I think we'll start at maybe 6 o'clock like usual. The NFL Weekly Talk will become the NFL Live Draft Show. So as we always say, if there's any guys out there that, hey, you have the equipment, you have a phone, you have a computer, you have a headset, reach out to myself, Dan. We'll get you live on the show. If you're a member of a fan, team out there you like, we want to hear your thoughts. We'll get you on the show because it is a nonstop party that night, Dan. I mean, it's a long-ass party, so make sure you have your coffee, but the best thing is, Dan, I want to see you at number 3 when you guys don't take Shador, you don't take the player you want. I want to see that facial expression. I love facial expression when I see him, Dan.
Go through a wall, throw my computer through a wall or something.
Dan, I forgot what year it was when the Cowboys drafted. I think it was last year, Dan, wasn't it? When we did the draft and I smacked my table so hard when we took Tyler Guyton. I was so pissed off. I had to get a new table because I cracked my table, the glass table. I didn't realize it until like a week later. I'm like, what the hell is that crack from? Then I remembered like, oh, shit, I broke my table. But the expressions, Dan, the expressions are something I can't wait to talk about live on the draft.
I hope I have some good expressions. Even though it's only one round.
But Dan, you're in a situation where you can't go wrong. Number 3, you're getting a top offensive player at really any position, Dan. Okay, you're getting the player.
At least I think we can't go wrong. Well, we'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Look, Dan, you got 2 quarterbacks battling for a position, Dan. Okay.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm okay.
You're okay, right. Dan. You're going to be okay. I mean, what was that record last year, Dan? What was your record last year?
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, listen, I was 7-10, Dan. I don't want to talk about it either. So, God, man, we got to talk about our teams. We got to talk about both of our teams next week, and then we got to talk about Washington, which is okay. We can talk about them, but then we got to talk about those damn Philadelphia Eagles, Dan, and we got to give praise to them. God, man,
won it all. So,
hey, they're the champs. Respect. You got to respect it, right? You got to respect it, I guess.
Yep.
Yes, it is. All right, Dan, you ready to get out of here?
I sure am.
All right, guys, this is the NFL Weekly Talking Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. My name is Paul Spencer. That is the man right there, Dan Connor. We'll be back next week to talk about the NFC East and Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. So until then, we'll see you next Thursday night, 6 p.m. Until then, have a great weekend, and everybody stay safe.
Take care, everybody.